Back at home, Mariam focused on her family. She spent more time with the kids, trying to create happy memories to push away fear. Jacob, sensing the change in her, seemed more at ease too. One night, as they were all gathered in the living room, Jacob turned to Mariam. "I feel like things are finally getting back to normal," he said, squeezing her hand. Mariam smiled, though her heart was still heavy. "Yes, we are getting there." But deep down, Mariam knew they had to stay vigilant. Rosemary might be gone for now, but there was always a chance she could return. They had to be prepared for anything. Days turned into weeks, and life seemed to settle in a new normal. Mariam and Jacob found a renewed closeness, and the children seemed happier than ever. But Mariam couldn't shake the feeling that their peace was fragile, that it could shatter at any moment. One afternoon, as Mariam was picking up the kids from school, her phone rang. It was an unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. "Hello, Mariam," a familiar voice said. It was Rosemary. "I thought you'd like to know that I'll be back sooner than you think. And this time, I won't be so easy to get rid of." Mariam's heart sank. She knew they were in for another battle, but this time, she was determined to protect her family at all costs. She wouldn't let Rosemary destroy what she had fought so hard to preserve. As she hung up the phone, Mariam looked at her children and felt a surge of determination. They deserved a family, happy, secure life. She would do whatever it took to ensure that no matter what challenges lay ahead. Mariam knew the fight wasn't over, but she was ready. She had her family, her friends, and a newfound strength. Together, they would face whatever came their way, and they would come out stronger on the other side. Mariam felt her hands tremble as she ended the call with Rosemary. The looming threat of her return cast a shadow over the peaceful life they had begun to rebuild. She knew she couldn't face this alone. She needed to talk to Jessica again and plan their next move. That evening, after the kids were in bed, Mariam sat with Jacob on the porch. The warm Abuja night air was comforting, but the weight of the conversation she needed to have was heavy. "Jacob, we need to talk," Mariam began, her voice steady but serious. Jacob looked at her, concern etching lines on his face. "What's wrong, Mariam?" Mariam took a deep breath. "Rosemary called. She's planning to come back and cause more trouble. We need to be ready." Jacob's expression darkened. "What does she want now? Haven't we done enough to keep her satisfied?" "She wants more, Jacob. She's not going to stop until she gets everything she wants," Mariam said, trying to keep her voice calm. "We need a new plan." The next morning, Mariam met Jessica at their usual spot in the park. She explained the situation, and Jessica listened intently, her face growing more determined with every word. "We need to find a way to make Rosemary's life so difficult that she has no choice but to back off," Jessica said. "Maybe we can dig up some dirt on her, something that will make her think twice about coming after you again." Mariam nodded. "But how do we find something like that? We don't even know where to start." Jessica smiled. "I have a contact who might be able to help. He's a private investigator. He can dig into Rosemary's past and see if there's anything we can use." Mariam felt a glimmer of hope. "Let's do it." A few days later, They met with the private investigator, Mr. Ajayi. He was a middle-aged man, sharp eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. "I understand you have a problem with this woman, Rosemary," Mr. Ajayi said. "I will see what I can find. Give me a week." The waiting was excruciating. Mariam tried to go about her daily life, but the anxiety was always there, lurking in the back of her mind. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Mr. Ajayi called. "I found something," he said simply. "We need to meet." Mariam and Jessica met him at a small, secluded cafe. Mr. Ajayi placed a folder on the table and opened it. Inside were photos, documents, and various pieces of information about Rosemary. It turns out Rosemary has been involved in some shady dealings, Mr. Ajayi explained. She's been embezzling money from the company she's working at. If this information gets out, she'll be in serious trouble. Mariam felt a surge of triumph. This is perfect. We can use this to make her back off. Jessica nodded. But we have to be careful. We can't let her know we have this information until the right moment. They devised a plan to confront Rosemary with the evidence, but only if she refused to leave them alone. Mariam felt more confident, knowing they had a powerful weapon in their arsenal. A week later, Rosemary called Mariam again. "I am back in Abuja," she said, her voice dripping with malice. "And I am ready to make sure your life a living hell." Mariam's heart pounded, but she remained calm. "Rosemary, let's meet and talk. There is something you need to see." They arranged to meet at a quiet cafe. Mariam and Jessica arrived early, the folder with the evidence securely in Mariam's bag. When Rosemary walked in, she looked confident, almost smug. Mariam felt a surge of anger but kept her composure. "Rosemary, we have something to show you." Mariam began, sliding the folder across the table. "I think you'll find it very interesting." Rosemary's eyes narrowed as she opened the folder. As she flipped through the pages, her expression changed from curiosity to shock to fury. "Where did you get this?" she demanded, her voice shaking. "That's not important," Jessica said calmly. "What's important is that we have it. And if you don't leave Mariam and her family alone, this information will go public." Rosemary's face twisted with rage, but she knew she was cornered. "Fine," she spat. "You win this time, but don't think this is over." Mariam felt a wave of relief as Rosemary stormed out of the cafe. They had won this battle, but the war was far from over. As they left the cafe, Mariam turned to Jessica. "Thank you for everything. I don't know what I would have done without you." Jessica smiled. "We will always have each other's backs, Mariam, no matter what." Life slowly returned to normal. Mariam and Jacob grew even closer, their bond strengthened by the trials they had faced. The children thrived, blissfully unaware of the storm that had passed over their family. But Mariam knew they had to remain vigilant. Rosemary might be defeated for now, but she was still out there waiting for another opportunity to strike. Mariam was ready with her family and friends by her side. She knew they could face anything together. As the weeks turned into months, Mariam and Jacob found a new rhythm in their lives. The threat of Rosemary's return lingered in the back of their minds, but they were determined to focus on their family's happiness. So one sunny Saturday afternoon, Mariam and Jessica sat in the park, watching their children play. The air was filled with laughter and the scent of blooming flowers. Jessica turned to Mariam, a thoughtful look on her face. "Mariam, have you thought about what we've learned from all of this?" Jessica asked. Mariam nodded slowly. "I think about it every day. We've been through so much and it has changed us." Jessica smiled. "I've learned that true friendship is invaluable. We've supported each other through thick and thin. I don't know what I would have done without you." Mariam felt a surge of gratitude. "And I've learned the importance of honesty and trust in a marriage. Jacob and I have become stronger because we faced the truth together." As they talked, Jacob approached with a thoughtful expression. "Mariam, there is something I need to say," he began. Mariam looked up, sensing the seriousness in his face. "What is it, Jacob?" "I've been thinking about everything we've been through," Jacob said. "I realized that running from our problems only makes things worse. We need to face our fears head on and be honest with each other." Mariam felt tears well up in her eyes. "You're right, Jacob. We need to be open and trust each other completely." Jacob nodded. "And I've decided that we need to talk to the kids. They deserve to know the truth in a way they can understand. It's time to be completely honest." Mariam's heart pounded, but she knew Jacob was right. "Okay, let's do it." That evening, they gathered the children in the living room. Mariam and Jacob explained in simple terms about the challenges their family had faced, emphasizing the importance of love, honesty, and sticking together. The children listened attentively, their eyes wide with understanding. When they finished, their eldest, Nneka, spoke up. "So no matter what happens, we stick together as a family, right?" Mariam smiled, her heart swelling with pride. "Exactly, Nneka. We face everything together." Days turned into weeks, and the tension that had once filled their home began to dissipate. Mariam and Jacob found solace in their renewed commitment to each other and their family. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, Mariam felt a sense of peace she hadn't experienced in a long time. "We've come a long way, haven't we?" she said softly. Jacob took her hand. "Yes, we have. And we've learned so much along the way." Mariam nodded. "I've learned that no matter how dark things seem, there's always a way through if we face our problems with courage and honesty." Jacob smiled. "And I've learned that true love means standing by each other. Even when things get tough, we can overcome anything as long as we have each other." Jessica joined them on the porch, carrying a tray of drinks. "To friendship, love, and family," she said, raising her glass. Mariam and Jacob raised theirs, clinking them together. "To facing our fears and coming out stronger." Mariam nodded. As they sipped their drinks, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the city of Abuja. The challenges they had faced had not been easy, but they had emerged stronger and more united. Moral lessons. 1. The power of honesty. Facing the truth, no matter how difficult, is crucial in maintaining trust and strengthening relationships. Mariam and Jacob's decision to be honest with each other and their children brought them closer and built a foundation of trust. 2. Value of friendship. True friendship stand by you through thick and thin. Jessica's unwavering support and loyalty were instrumental in helping Mariam navigate her challenges. A strong friendship can provide the strength and perspective needed to overcome life's obstacles. 3. Strength in unity. A family that faces challenges together grows stronger. Mariam and Jacob's commitment to their family and to each other helped them overcome seemingly unsurmountable problems. Unity and support within a family are key to enduring hardships. 4. Courage to confront problems. Running away from problems only makes them worse. Mariam and Jacob learned that facing their issues head-on with courage and determination was the only way to find solution and peace. 5. The importance of forgiveness. Jacob's plea for forgiveness and Mariam's willingness to forgive highlighted the power of forgiveness in healing and moving forward. Holding on to grudges only deepens wounds, while forgiveness paves the way for reconciliation and growth. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Mariam felt a deep sense of gratitude for the lessons learned and the strength they had found. She knew that whatever the future held, they were ready to face it together as a family. We have come to the end of the story. If you love this video, please kindly share with your loved ones, leave us a comment on your opinion, and subscribe for another interesting video like this. Until I see you all on the next one. Bye for now.